賊王になるって俺が決めたんだから。そのために戦って死ぬんなら別にいい。
Hello everyone, Kaiser here, and today's video is a work in progress video on how I made my custom Luffy figure. And if you've been with my channel for a while, you're probably asking, don't you have a One Piece Luffy figure already? And while yes, I did, I don't know why, but I was never truly satisfied with that figure. So I decided to take that figure and update it, kind of make it better in a way. And this video will show how I did that. There are going to be a few things that I explained since I didn't think to record them, because I just jumped into working on this figure once I thought of it. But I'll also be talking about some tips and stuff on how you can make your own Luffy figure. So with that, let's get into it. So first off is the base, and when it comes to the base I used, it's kind of a Frankenstein's mess of different parts. I'm sure when most people want to make a custom Luffy figure, their first choice would be the SH Figure Arts Luffy, if you're staying within that SH Figure Arts 1/12 scale. But since I decided to take my own Luffy and only really keep the head, the lower arms, and the feet, and pretty much use, well, that and the lower body. For the upper body, it was actually if I remember correctly, an Iron Man torso, which I had sanded down and heavily modified in order to give it a more natural look. The arms came from the DC Superhero Girls, and the legs are a Spider-Man figure. And I really like that I used the Spider-Man figure's legs so that I can get more range out of the feet. But honestly, when it comes to making your own Luffy figure, if you're able to find like a good skinny body but has a bit of musculature, you can make a pretty good Luffy, such as the Marvel Legends Spider-Man. Any one of them will really do, but for my suggestion, I would use the Ultimate Spider-Man figure if you're able to find it. So yeah, as you can see here, all I'm really doing is painting the figure. After I had gotten all the pieces together, make sure they could stay on. And the painting was pretty simple to do since most of the body is flesh color, and I'll get into that later. But it wasn't really that hard to do. Just paint a base coat and apply more if need so. And you can see that I sketched out Luffy's scar on his chest before I had started painting it, so I wouldn't have to go over that flesh color and try to paint the scar on. This worked a lot better. And if you're wondering how I got the Figma-esque joints into this Iron Man body, or this Iron Man chest, what I did was I had to drill a hole into the Iron Man chest that was deep enough for it to fit in, and then I used hot glue and pressed the joint into that hole while moving it around. But what I did was I made sure that it wasn't too tight so I could pull out the arms, and again, you'll see why. But when I was making this, I kind of noticed that this looked very similar to how the SH Figure Arts Luffy looked when it came to how the upper torso was. And I don't know, I just kind of thought that was funny. Also, did you know there was a second version of the SH Figure Arts Luffy based off the outfit he had in the Imperial Down arc? I honestly never knew this figure existed, but while I was looking at the SH Figure Arts Luffy, I saw it, and yeah, it's real. I'm not sure how much it costs or where you can buy it, but it's definitely a real figure. But honestly, when it comes to this figure, the articulation, like I said, is a lot more Figma-esque because of all the different ball joints. The only part that doesn't really have that ball joint or Figma joint setup is the legs, and that's only because they were a Marvel Legends figure. And I should mention that when it came to the legs, again, I'm using my old Luffy figure. What I did was I shaved down the pegs and pretty much stuck them into the original peg holes of the pants in order for them to move around. So yeah, with my figure, there's a lot more work involved, but if you're able to find a somewhat skinny but muscular figure, then you should be good. Another thing that I wanted to do with this figure is made sure it was in scale with my other anime figures, which I use Naruto as comparison, since those two are somewhat the same height. If I remember correctly, Luffy's like 5'7", but I still think next to Naruto he looked pretty good once he was all finished. I was thinking of keeping the original shorts, but they looked too short, so I'll go into detail on how I made the shorts longer. And here I am, just again painting more of the figure, mostly the arms. Not too exciting, but I still thought it was important to show. And I should mention, or at least explain to you how I made the arms, since again, they're kind of like Figma arms in the sense that the peg goes into like this slot or hole in the arm, which acts as the bicep swivel. What I did, since this obviously wasn't going to work with the original figure, was that I had to use a rounded off Dremel tool, Dremel into the original arm, and use hot glue and clay in order to build around that joint. And I also had to drill deeper into the joint or the arm so that the joint would fit. Again, it was a lot of work, but it definitely came out a lot better than I thought. I'm glad that it worked out. Next up, I started painting his pants. The pants were really beat up here after all the stuff I had to take apart, but pretty much I just went and painted it a more vibrant blue. And as you can see, I made his shorts longer by taking, I can't remember which shirt it was. It was like a dress shirt, and I just cut 2 triangle pieces and glued them onto the pants in order to make them longer. But actually, before I did that, I had to sand down the puffy, like the rolled up part of the shorts. I think that's what that is, and that took a while. And after that, I glued them on and started painting them. And if you're wondering how I made the rolled up part or the white part of his shorts, what I did was I took a piece of yarn, pulled it apart, and glued it onto the ends of the shorts. Not too hard, really. It was really simple. The only real problem was trying to paint it. And here is where I paint the scar, and I wanted to make sure I got the scar right. Like I said before I started painting the flesh color, I had sketched it out, and I had a few reference pictures in order to see how the scar looked and what color it was. I tried to do the best I can, but what I did was I mixed, if I remember correctly, I mixed red and brown together and used that as the main color, while using a bit of a darker brown around the edges. I think it came out pretty well. It was a lot better than the last few times I had tried to make Luffy's scar. I did kind of mess up a lot in the past, but again, I think it worked out pretty well here. And this is what Luffy looked like after I had finished painting his body. I think it came out pretty well, and as you can see, I had some fun posing him around. But obviously, he wasn't completely done. I at least wanted to give him one vest at first, and I will show how I did that. If you remember from my Natsu Dragon video way back when, I told you how I made Natsu's vest, which is very similar to Luffy's. And I said I got the basic idea from Paper Patriot when he made his Charlotte Katakuri. So the same way that I made Natsu's is pretty much the same way I made Luffy's, just making it smaller since Luffy does have a smaller body than Natsu. I would suggest using fabric or any type of cloth for this. You could use something a bit sturdier, but this, in my opinion, is the best choice for making Luffy's vest. And this is what I've done for my custom Luffy figure so far, and I really like how he's turned out. There were a lot of things that I thought were gonna go badly, but I'm glad they turned out well with this figure. And even if you don't follow my blueprint exactly, like I said before, there are a lot of different ways you can make your own custom Luffy, and I'll put some up on the screen. But this video isn't called a work in progress for no reason. I do plan on doing a lot more with this figure and giving him more accessories, but that'll be for another time. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter to see what I'm doing, and I'll see you guys next time.
We promised it long ago.